Right now at 6, the Real ID deadline is fast approaching after years of delays.
And we've got a chilly start to the morning for some of us out there, and we will begin to warm into the afternoon. Could see a couple of showers or storms. Look at the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a partnership is renewed as two Southwest Missouri fire departments team up to share resources.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Wednesday. It's April the 16th, and it is going to be a warm day out there.
Good.
About 10 degrees warmer today than where we were yesterday, and even warmer tomorrow.
Wow.
Trade-off, though, are the winds, those gusty winds, and some thunderstorm chances as well.
Okay.
And we could see a couple of strong storms about 24 hours from now, a little less than that. So something we will certainly, of course, keep an eye on. But for today, we're going to start pretty decently. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear, and again, through at least the first half of our day, they will remain that way. Skies clear and looking pretty good from MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Future track, again, it's showing storm development a little later. I do think that we might get a couple of pop-up storms by about noon, and then we'll continue to see that chance for some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. So not everybody necessarily will see rain with this first wave today, but some of us will, and a strong storm or two, maybe some small hail will be possible. The greater threat for stronger storms is going to be overnight tonight into very early tomorrow morning. And we're going to be warm and we're going to be quite breezy. So here's a look at that risk. And again, this is mainly for overnight tonight. Tornado risk very low. We don't have any areas highlighted. The hail risk is the biggest change since yesterday. It's been expanded a little further south and east. The wind risk, though, still exactly where it was yesterday into parts of Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties. And the good news is at least all these risks are still low. None of those have been increased, and that's the way we want it to stay. If we're going to have stronger storms, it's better that they're strong and not overly severe. 48 is where we're at in Joplin right now. 42, though, in Pittsburgh, a bit cooler. And we do have some upper 30s out there. Miami, Grove, Jay, Anderson into the upper 30s. We have some low 40s, so a little bit cooler in some spots. Others are right around the mid 40s, and that puts us right about normal this morning. So kids getting on the bus probably still want that light jacket, perhaps. South winds 5 to 10, and right about 45. Still clear skies by this afternoon. Again, at least some of us may have a chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. 74 when the bus brings them home. Otherwise, partly cloudy, breezy. South winds gusting to 30. And that's the other thing, is if you don't see any thunderstorm activity, you'll just simply be partly cloudy, warmer, mid-upper 70s for many of us. And of course, again, that south wind gusting upwards of 30. Winds will increase tomorrow. We have the strong storm chances late tonight we'll discuss, and we'll talk about what we're looking at heading into the holiday weekend here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a father and son are hospitalized in critical condition following a crash in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Authorities say a 9-year-old boy and his 54-year-old father were injured when their ATV collided with a pickup on East 40 Road in Quapaw. And the father was taken to a Joplin hospital. A medical helicopter took the 9-year-old to a Tulsa hospital. Authorities say the man's 19-year-old son was driving the truck that collided with the ATV. Well, Joplin first responders were called to a fire yesterday evening. The report came in around 5:30 p.m. for a house fire on South Connor Avenue. Now, when firefighters arrived, they found the front of the house fully engulfed in flames. Firefighters went right to work, and the fire was under control around 6:40. No one was injured, and neighbors tell us that nobody was living in the home at this time. The Joplin Fire Marshal has begun an investigation into the cause of the fire. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, after a 20-year delay, Real ID enforcement is just around the corner. Starting May 7th, if you do not have one, you may not be able to fly on an airline. Now is the time to check your ID or driver's license for a gold or black star in the corner. Now, if it has one, that means you have a Real ID. Now, these are designed to prevent fraud and identity theft. Officials say it's important to get yours as soon as possible. The fate of the employment of the IRS workers reaches all the way to the Show Me state. Now, sources say the IRS is expected to announce their individual decisions by the end of this week, the busiest week of the year. The news came just ahead of yesterday's tax filing deadline as the agency processes tens of millions of tax returns, payments, and refunds. Now, one likely location impacted will be in Kansas City, Missouri. The Trump administration is aiming to cut roughly 20,000 IRS jobs, about 20% of the agency workforce. Well, it's not uncommon for the Webb City Fire Department and the Dunaway Volunteer Fire Department to help each other respond to emergencies. But now the departments are helping each other with equipment. Monday night, the Webb City Council voted to allow the Webb City Fire Department to donate a brush truck to Dunaway. Now, the truck has not run for more than a year in Webb City, and the Dunaway department will be able to use it to get parts to get their own brush truck working again. Now, the department says the equipment is vital for responding in their rural area.
We go to Carthage, we go to Webb City, we went to Joplin, we went everywhere. And we'll go back to Webb City and help them with this truck that we put together. So, it's just a great partnership.
Now, the Dunaway Volunteer Fire Department has already picked up the brush truck and has their truck ready for the replacement parts to get it up and running again. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Starbucks is updating its dress code for baristas that is set to take effect next month. Plus, the Trump administration faces new legal warnings while the feud with Harvard escalates. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Forest Park, located in Parsons, Kansas. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, Starbucks is updating its uniform policy. Now, soon baristas will have to wear solid black tops under their iconic green aprons. Now, that's a change from baristas being allowed to wear any colored shirt. Starbucks said in a release it's an attempt to allow the green aprons to stand out and create a sense of familiarity for customers. Now, in addition, the company is also tweaking acceptable pant colors with employees to be required to wear khaki, black, or blue denim. The new dress code goes into effect May 12th. Well, Hertz is telling customers it experienced a data breach of customer personal information after a hack in its supply chain late last year. The car rental company says the stolen information may include names, credit card and driver's license numbers, and possibly social security and passport numbers. Hertz says the breach was against one of its vendors, software firm Clio Communications. Hertz says it found no evidence that its own network was impacted. Well, U.S. wholesale prices fell last month. It's an indication of a strong economy before the bulk of President Donald Trump's aggressive trade policies kicked in. Now, in Labor Department data released Friday, the Producer Price Index showed that prices paid to producers fell 0.4% in March from the month before and slowed on an annual basis to 2.7%. The PPI is a closely watched measurement of wholesale inflation. It serves as a potential bellwether for retail level inflation in the months ahead. Now, this index also is being scrutinized to gain insight as to the initial impacts of Trump's sweeping new and proposed tariffs. Well, this morning, the Trump administration is facing new warnings from a federal judge over its refusal to bring home a man it mistakenly deported to a prison in El Salvador. The judge told government lawyers that every day he's in prison is, quote, another day of irreparable harm. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is ratcheting up his feud with Harvard University. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Outside of Maryland Courthouse, supporters of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, including his wife, pushed the White House for his return.
I will not stop fighting until I see my husband alive.
Inside, a federal judge blasted Trump administration lawyers for not doing enough to bring back the man they admit was mistakenly deported to an El Salvador prison weeks ago, ordering new depositions from several Trump officials. The latest chapter in the legal fight came one day after the president of El Salvador claimed he didn't have the power to send Abrego Garcia back.
How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggled him into the United States?
Trump officials argue any return would be short-lived.
He's going to be detained and removed again.
Also, Tuesday, President Trump hosted the U.S. Naval Academy's midshipman football team while escalating his fight with another major university. The president threatened to pull Harvard University's tax-exempt status one day after freezing more than $2 billion in federal grants. The administration says the school refused to accept demands, including sharing hiring and admissions data and allowing a third party to audit programs they claim fuel anti-Semitic harassment. Harvard's president earlier rejected the White House's demands, writing, quote, "The university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights." Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, defense officials confirmed to CBS News that 2 Pentagon officials have been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation into an unauthorized leak. The Defense Department's Deputy Chief of Staff has also been suspended in that same probe. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, Skywatch Storm Tracker does show a few clouds out there, especially in our far southern counties, and that's because we do have a few isolated showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder down to our south. This shouldn't pose much of an issue for us this morning, but eventually this wave will be the catalyst of additional showers and thunderstorms, at least some isolated ones, as we head into the afternoon. Skies otherwise looking pretty good out there this morning from 7th and Range Line. Temperatures a bit chilly for some of us still, but worry not, warm weather is in store for everyone. Details in that full forecast when we come back.
The Burnsville, Minnesota Police Department has one special member of the team. Meet Duke, a 2-year-old lab trained to sniff out stress. Kirsten Mitchell has the story.
Don't let this sweet face fool you. Duke's powerful nose is at work. The 2-year-old lab is a critical incident response dog with the Burnsville Police Department, specially trained to detect cortisol, a stress hormone in people.
He will basically walk into a room and he'll sniff everybody who's in the room, and then he will zero in on the person who's the most stressed. That calls a grounding technique, and he tries to get somebody to sit down and pet him. And eventually he'll lay across their feet.
Duke arrived the day after the tragic deaths of 2 officers and a firefighter paramedic in Burnsville last year.
He came at the right time, but at kind of the wrong time, if that makes even sense, right?
He was there to bring calm when it was needed most.
I honestly think it was a God thing, because I was already planning on being there.
Duke came from Canines for Freedom and Independence, a Texas nonprofit. Like a narcotics dog, he's trained to sniff out stress using sweat and saliva.
It is so much different than the therapy dogs, because these dogs go out in the field. They can go on mental health calls.
Duke responds with Burnsville's behavioral health unit about 12 times a month and spends the rest of his time visiting schools or attending community events.
Sometimes the uniform, sometimes just our presence there, it can be a lot, and having him around kind of diminishes that. It breaks down the barriers or be able to work with somebody who is in crisis.
He's helping officers too.
Hopefully we can start to slow down and prevent higher levels of suicide, individuals walking away from the job and resigning.
Off duty, Duke's just another member of the Yakovlev family.
The question comes up to why do we need it, and the answer is, well, look at him, like it's fun.
Incredible. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're looking pretty good out there this morning. Nice sunrise from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Temperatures again a bit chilly for some. All of us warm a little later. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. About to be 6:21 now on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start with our severe threat. Now, again, we talked about how day one really bleeds over into the next day. I think it's the situation we're looking at today. We have a very low tornado risk. So the good news is no areas highlighted there. In fact, the only change for our severe weather outlook from overnight tonight and very early tomorrow morning is the hail risk area has been expanded a little further south and east than where it was yesterday. The wind risk hasn't changed. They haven't added any kind of a tornado risk out there, and none of these, the hail or wind risk, have been increased to elevated status, which is also good, but it still doesn't eliminate that possibility of a couple of strong storms. So let's talk about what we're looking at. Between here and about noon, we're looking at mostly sunny skies. We do have a few isolated showers and storms in northeastern Oklahoma down around Tulsa. They should stay there through the morning, but that wave will be the same trigger that eventually gives us additional isolated to widely scattered showers and storms heading through the afternoon and into the evening. Most of us may not see anything from this activity, just the partly cloudy skies, but some of us may get in on a few showers out there. It's overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. After about midnight, we get a complex of thunderstorms coming in from the west, and those storms, as they roll through, they aren't going to, again, impact everybody, but they could be strong to low-grade severe with, as you saw in the severe weather risk map, with hail being the primary concern. But look how fast that complex rolls through. I mean, we're going from roughly Chanute outside of our area to Springfield in just 3 hours. So, I mean, it is definitely going to be booking tomorrow morning, but we could have a stronger low-grade severe storm. Of course, we'll be here keeping an eye on that. A few remnant thunderstorms first part of Thursday very early, and then by about 7, 8 o'clock, those are gone. The rest of our Thursday is dry, breezy, and very warm with those partly cloudy skies, temperatures into the low 80s, maybe even some upper 80s in our western counties, but those south winds also gusting upwards of about 40 miles an hour. We'll have a few clouds overnight Thursday into Friday. Starting Friday, still very breezy. Look at these temperatures Friday morning, upper 60s and low 70s. I mean, we're talking a very mild start to the day. Clouds increase as we head into the afternoon. Then we start seeing opportunities for some showers and storms ahead of a cold front. The ones ahead of the front, there's still some question on whether or not they're going to be able to amplify or not. If they do, we are looking at then possibly two severe threats. One from these isolated storms ahead of the front, and then from the front itself with thunderstorms late Friday into Saturday morning. So we'll want to keep an eye on these just because they'll be in an environment that'll be favorable for them to intensify, but there's still question on whether or not they'll really be able to get their act going. And honestly, it'd be great if they didn't, because these isolated storms ahead of the front could pose a slightly greater severe threat than the ones with the front itself. So we'll keep an eye on that through the evening. Then by about 9, 10 o'clock, see that wind shift line? Here comes that cold front, and here comes that line of storms that'll continue from Friday night into very early Saturday morning, and that's where our other severe threat lies. And so that's why, as we head into Friday, we still have that elevated risk across the entire region. As that front fires off storms, they intensify and sink off to the southeast late Friday into early Saturday. So a lot to keep an eye on. Beautiful sunrise, 7th and range line. It looks fantastic, and it'll be a pretty decent start to the day. Upper 40s out there, mid 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, our highs today, mid, maybe even some upper 70s, south winds gusting to 30. And if you don't see any showers or storms, then we're looking simply at partly cloudy skies and warm, breezy conditions. Those isolated shower storms continue into the evening. And as I mentioned, between midnight, let's say 7 a.m., just with those two little thunderstorm complexes, that's where we'll have that best risk for additional storms. Back into the low 60s tonight, south winds still gusting upwards of 30. And we go into the Easter weekend, and I want to talk about that very quickly. We have additional showers and thunderstorms expected through the majority of the day Saturday, and a couple of strong storms may be possible on Saturday. And then we head into Easter Sunday. If you have early morning plans for Sunday morning for Easter, you may want to consider some indoor plans, because I think the first half of our Easter, we're going to be wet, we're going to be stormy, but as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, that will begin to clear out. For Saturday, we do have that severe risk that's just barely clipping us, but we'll have to keep an eye on it, because that's that thing where that could become the elevated, and then we see a low risk beyond that. We'll want to keep an eye on that. Same in the Sunday for Easter Sunday. The risk not clipping us, but man, it's right there. So we still want to keep an eye on those storm chances into the weekend. Again, low 80s tomorrow, upper 70s on Friday, near normal Saturday. A little cooler for Easter Sunday, got a decent Monday, and then more showers and storms next week. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Lisa now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, your risk of heart problems could be related to how fast you walk. Your research published in the journal Heart showed that people who had an average or brisk walking speed had a 35 to 43% lower risk of heart abnormalities like an irregular heartbeat. People who walked at a slower pace had a higher chance of heart issues. Well, babies may be exposed to harmful chemicals coming from the mattresses they sleep on. A study by the University of Toronto found some mattresses release dangerous levels of flame retardants and UV filters into the air. Some of the chemicals are linked to learning disorders, behavioral problems, asthma, and cancer. The study's authors call for stricter regulations on these chemicals. And if you're the type of person who's extra sensitive to cold or has ice cold feet, listen up. A study in Taiwan found people who are extra sensitive to cold have a 50 to 90% heightened risk of having varicose veins. And according to another finding of the study, people whose jobs involve standing for longer periods also have a much higher chance of varicose veins. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Joplin's Ronald McDonald House celebrates a financial boost that will strengthen their mission.
And got a beautiful sunrise out there this morning. It is a bit on the chilly side, though, for some. We'll talk about that, our shower chances, and the warm weather. And that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, snake season is back in the 4 states. What you should do if you encounter the crawling creature.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just 6:30 now. I just saw that. I'm Elise Snowy.
Chris Porter. It's Wednesday. It's April the 16th. And yeah, here we are.
Yes, here we are.
And I have never had allergies, and people around me are suggesting that's what this is, because I'm telling you right now, I could just drop.
Your eyes look watery.
I am
exhausted,
man.
It's allergy season. It's brutal.
I've never had it before, though. I don't know why suddenly, but anyway, I guess that's what it is. But
yes,
it's all right. We're going to get through it. We've already made it through the first hour and a half, only 90 more minutes to go. And we've got at least a pretty nice start to the day out there. That makes it easier to get through the morning. Let's start with that. Hold on. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm running behind. There we go. Now we can start with that look outside in downtown Pittsburgh. Sun is, of course, rising slowly but surely, getting some daylight out there. It looks fantastic. Down around the Tulsa area, we actually have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. They're isolated and they're not going to impact us, but they are part of the wave that will ultimately trigger a few additional showers and thunderstorms for us as we head into the afternoon hours. So not everybody necessarily is going to see rain today, but some of us could see a shower or thunderstorm as we head through the afternoon. Otherwise, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and temperatures pretty warm into the afternoon as well. So here's what we're looking at. Now, this is for day one, but I believe that this severe risk is going to be more associated with a complex of storms that will get here after midnight, but be out of our area by 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But we do have a low hail risk, and that's really the biggest change since yesterday is the hail risk has been expanded, but it's still low, and that's good. The low wind risk has not moved or changed in size, and a tornado threat has not been added either. So that's also some good news. All right, 48 in Joplin right now, but cooler. Pittsburgh City at 42. And we do have some communities in the upper 30s this morning. Grove, Jay, and Anderson hanging out in the upper 30s. Most of us right around the mid 40s, which again is on par for our average temperatures for this time of year. Kids getting on the bus should have clear skies, maybe a cloud or two, mid-40s, south winds at around 5 to 10. Through the morning, those winds increase, gusting upwards of 30 by this afternoon. Again, some of us, maybe an isolated shower or storm when the bus brings them home, 74. Again, if you don't see the showers or storms today, you're looking at partly cloudy skies, breezy, the south winds gusting to 30. Temperatures right around the mid, maybe even some upper 70s here and there. Again, we'll have that complex of storms tomorrow morning. It could be strong, low-grade, severe. And then we're watching that severe threat from Friday evening into early Saturday. We'll talk about that and our Easter forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, see you soon, Chris. Well, springtime brings out fun family activities and some familiar holiday faces. The Easter Bunny is chilling at Joplin's North Park Mall to greet and take photos with kiddos of all ages. Now, there have been several Easter events happening, and there are several more to come. You can scan this QR code to find some more egg hunts coming up in the 4 states. Now, of course, you can also adventure over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for more things to do. Well, a big day for the Ronald McDonald House in Joplin. The family-focused charity got a helping hand from Freeman Auxiliary yesterday in the form of a $10,000 check. Now, for Ronald McDonald House, the donation means being able to better serve area families during some of life's most difficult moments. Now, for Freeman Auxiliary, the donation means giving necessary support to a charity that does so much good for the community.
It means both the financial support, but it's also a lot about the relationships. So Freeman Health System has been a founding partner since the house was originally built. And so for almost 30 years, those auxiliary members have been volunteering over at the hospital systems, in the gift shops, all throughout the hospital. And the funds that they raise help us do what we do here at the Ronald McDonald House. So it really is a celebration of both the donation and the relationship.
Well, the partnership between Ronald McDonald House and Freeman Auxiliary goes all the way back to 1995. Well, snake season is slithering into the fourth state. Now, all these scaly visitors might give you a fright. The Missouri Department of Conservation says most are more helpful than harmful, serving as nature's pest control by keeping rodent populations in check. But what should you do if you cross paths with a snake? Well, an expert from the Missouri Department of Conservation has some tips.
If you are bit by a snake, if possible, try to get a picture of that snake on your phone, because when you go to the doctor, and all snake bites, you should probably go to the doctor just to play it safe. But the first thing they're going to ask you, was it venomous or non-venomous? If you have a picture of that snake, that'll help you show the doctor what type of snake bit you.
According to the Missouri Department of Conservation, it's illegal to kill a snake in Missouri. However, the exception is if a venomous snake is in a position where it could bite a person. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. American Airlines announces it will offer free Wi-Fi for loyalty members starting next year. And we have a warmer and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Forest Park, located in Parsons, Kansas. In Consumer Watch this morning, Asian markets across the U.S. could see price hikes because of the tariff war with China. Now, one owner in Oklahoma fears he could lose business because of this. Isabel Flores reports.
The Trump administration has implemented a 145% tariff increase on imports to China. But China has now implemented a 125% tariff increase on the U.S. Many Asian supermarkets ship a lot of their items from countries like China.
If the tariff starts after this inventory, I'm pretty sure it's going to go up a lot.
Bung Sing is the owner of the OK Asian supermarket on Lewis Avenue. He imports items for his shop like sauces, noodles, and even kitchenware all the way from China. He tells me that in order to stay afloat, he may have to increase prices.
To be able to open my store, I have to increase the price.
With the possible price increase he expects to pay on imports, he's scared it could affect business.
It will hit more harder to the buyer, the consumer. It will hurt more people, the people, you know.
I just want my food.
Glenda Enriquez is a regular customer at the OK Asian Market. She says her favorite thing to buy is the fish, but she's not too worried about the tariffs.
Prices everywhere increase. You go to Walmart, you see changes in some of the prices, groceries.
She tells me even if prices go up, she'll keep coming to OK Asian Mart because of the service and quality of food she gets.
I'll pay for it as long as I got what I want.
Singh tells me he'll know more about what steps he needs to take after his next inventory, depending on how prices change.
Soon, some American Airlines customers will have access to free in-flight Wi-Fi. The service will launch in January 2026 for Americans A-Advantage loyalty program members in partnership with AT&T. Now, it currently costs American flyers at least $10 to access Wi-Fi while flying, according to the company's website. The announcement comes after Delta and United Airlines also began offering free Wi-Fi for some flyers. And ahead of next week's NFL draft, Snickers is teaming up with 2024 Heisman Trophy winner and top two-way player Travis Hunter for a double release, pairing its classic chocolate candy bar and ice cream bar in a 2-pack. Now, fans can head to the Snickers website Monday through Friday next week only to grab one of the limited time 2-packs. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
I got a chilly start for some of us out there, but a nice sunrise downtown Pittsburgh, 4th and Broadway, looking to the east. It looks great so far this morning, and not bad from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line. Of course, traffic is moving, and that's always a good thing. It's not a good thing when traffic suddenly stops. All right, on to the future track. Again, I think it's missing out at noon. I think by noon we may already have a couple of isolated showers or storms, but we will see that potential across the region. Not everybody in the afternoon will see a shower or storm, and if you don't, you're just looking at partly cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions. Then that'll clear out, and then we'll get a complex of storms overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, and that's where this severe risk comes from. Now, it's a low risk, but it is there. The stronger storms tomorrow morning could produce maybe some small hail in our western counties, maybe some gusty winds out there. So it is something that we'll keep an eye on. We're looking at timing roughly between midnight and say 7 a.m. tomorrow for those storm chances. And we'll go over all the details with you here in just a moment. All right. 48 in Joplin, not bad. 44 in Pittsburgh, also not bad. We should be in the mid to upper 40s for our lows. Some of us are there, others are not. And some of us are still kind of cold this morning. Grove, Anderson, and Jay have been the 3 cold spots back into the upper 30s so far this morning. Kids getting on the bus. We're looking at clear skies, maybe a cloud or two, about 45, south winds 5 to 10. And then again, some of us, maybe a rumble of thunder or a shower, otherwise partly cloudy, 74, south winds gusting now upwards of 30 miles an hour. As I mentioned, we have thunderstorm chances tomorrow morning. Then we've got that severe threat Friday evening into early Saturday morning, and we have additional thunderstorm chances through the holiday weekend. We'll break down those details for you here in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, but first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Gail Kane. Coming up on CBS Mornings, actor Michael B. Jordan and director Ryan Coogler will talk with us about their latest project together. It's a movie called Sinners. And Ross Matthews, known as Rossi Ross from Drew's News, will be here to tell us about his new children's book. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some of these Wednesday birthdays. And we're starting with Eliza Showmaker, celebrating birthday number 1. It says, Mimi and Papa love you. Happy birthday.
And happy 16th birthday to Ava Dent in St. Paul.
And in Erie, Aiden Wilson celebrating birthday number 18 with love from Grandma Linda.
And happy 20th birthday to Briley Buchanan in Jasper.
And we've got Dietrich Watkins celebrating birthday number 22 in Joplin. Happy birthday.
And happy 32nd birthday to Blaze Eckert in Spring Hill.
And in Fort Scott, April Hagerman celebrating birthday number 53. Pictured here with actor Tyler Hines, who was in Touchdown, the Chiefs' love story on Hallmark. A very cool experience. Happy birthday, April.
And a 58th birthday celebration for Donna Smith in Frontenac. Happy birthday.
And we also have Lucille Mitchell celebrating birthday number 97. A very happy birthday to you, and happy birthday from your friends and family.
And celebrating their 3rd anniversary. Happy anniversary to Zach and Kelsey Emmerman in Independence.
And a 30th anniversary for Charlie and Ashley Epler in Columbus. A very happy anniversary to you.
And a very special birthday today. A happy birthday to Allison Lewis in Carl Junction, who is Promotions Vance Lewis's wife and also Trevor Lewis's mother. Happy birthday.
She is a fantastic lady, and honestly, we may give Trevor a hard time, but he's a fantastic kid too. So very happy birthday to you. Our list does continue with Joe and John Almond. They're twins celebrating their 70th birthday in Chanute. Happy birthday.
And last but not least, a happy birthday to Felicia Skokin.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries, and of course we really do enjoy celebrating these, and if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise has some information for you.
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Sure to include those photos and messages to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. To also please include the date of your celebration as well. That's super helpful.
It certainly is. And I've got some super helpful information for you. First, our severe weather threats. We talked about this just momentarily. So our tornado threat, very low. There are no areas highlighted, which is fantastic. Our hail risk still low. Same with the wind risk. The only change on this from yesterday morning is the hail risk has been expanded a little further south and east. And that's going to be associated with a complex of storms we're expecting late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So for today, again, I think Future Track's just missing it by a hair, but I think we might have a couple isolated showers and storms as early as noon today. Otherwise, partly cloudy and warm and breezy. Not everyone will necessarily see a shower or thunderstorm as we go through the afternoon and evening hours, but that chance will be there. Now, we go through the late evening, we get a pause, and then by about midnight, here comes a complex of showers and storms, hence that severe weather risk, the low risk that we do have heading into tomorrow morning. And here's those thunderstorms as they come through. So again, small hail, perhaps some gusty winds will be the primary concern, but they're here very early. And then they are gone very quickly. They're expected to be moving pretty quick. So this is 2 a.m. Thursday. By 5 a.m., that complex, or at least what's left of it, already over to Springfield. Then we have a few lingering thunderstorms Thursday morning, which is why we do have that low risk for our far northern counties. But by about 7 o'clock, 8 at the latest, that's all gone. It's done. It's over. The rest of our Thursday is breezy, partly cloudy, and very warm. We're going to be going into the mid 80s, maybe even close to 90 for some of our western communities out there. So a very warm day, and those south winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. We head into Friday, still breezy. Check out these temperatures Friday morning, upper 60s, low 70s at 5 a.m. Very warm start to the day, and that is ahead of something we're watching very closely because we're watching a couple of things. One, we do have at least the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms, isolated ones, developing ahead of this cold front that's going to come through Friday night. If that happens, there's the possibility. I want to emphasize right now there's still a lot of uncertainty on what these storms will do if they get going in the afternoon, but because they'll be by themselves, they'll be isolated, they'll be able to tap into some of that energy, they could potentially become severe on their own. And they could start as early as 2, 3 o'clock. You see, we get a couple of rounds of these isolated storms ahead of the main front. So we want to keep a close eye on that just in case. All right, still some uncertainties is exactly how those will pan out. But if they do, again, they'll be away from the front, they'll be ahead of the front, and they'll be able to potentially intensify on their own. Then, if you look closely, you can start to see that wind shift line just outside of our area. That cold front starts to roll in, and we're going to get a line of storms on that. That's the one we were talking about, where this line could potentially stretch from Chicago down to Lubbock, Texas, as we go through Friday night. And those storms will also have the ability to be strong, possibly severe as well, with hail being the primary concern, but it is, again, something that we want to keep a close eye on as we go late Friday into early Saturday morning. Once we get past that, we have additional thunderstorm chances out there as well. So again, for today, really tomorrow morning, that low risk out there. Then for that complex, again, say between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., could have a couple of stronger storms in our far northern counties tomorrow. And then after that, we have the elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into Friday evening and early Saturday morning. Sunrise looks beautiful. Just a couple of clouds out there right now at 7th and Range Line. Near 50 to start our day, mid-60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, our highs ultimately into the mid-70s. South winds gusting to 30. And we'll have the clouds again increase overnight. We'll have those thunderstorms tomorrow morning. And the south winds still gusting up to 30. And our lows pretty mild, upper 50s. Most of us back into the low 60s. We go into the holiday weekend. I did want to touch on that. We're going to have showers and thunderstorms really plaguing us most of Saturday. And we want to keep an eye on those, and I'll show you why in just a moment. But we'll have scattered showers and storms throughout the day Saturday, and then they'll continue into Easter Sunday. Now, by Easter Sunday, by the afternoon, early evening hours, we should be done. But if you have anything planned in the morning Sunday, you want to make sure that you've got a backup plan that can be indoors because it may be raining on you for at least the first half of Easter Sunday. And it'll be kind of cool after that system passes through. So here's why we want to watch the Saturday storms. This is Saturday on the extended severe weather outlook, just barely clipping us, but it's close enough that we want to keep an eye on it. Same on Sunday. It's a little further away, but not by much. So we still want to watch those storms as we head into the weekend. But our bigger concern is going to be Friday evening into early Saturday morning. We'll have another look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know here in just a moment, and we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or if you stick with us here on KOAM Plus, we're going to get an inside look at how the Easter peeps are made.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The fate of the employment of IRS workers reaches to the Show Me State. Sources say the IRS is expected to announce their individual decisions by the end of this week. Now, one likely location impacted will be in Kansas City, Missouri. The Trump administration is aiming to cut roughly 20,000 IRS jobs, about 20% of the agency workforce. Well, the Trump administration is set to enforce Real ID on May 7th. Now, check your ID or driver's license for a gold or black star in the corner. Now, if it has one, that means you have a real ID. Now, these are designed to prevent fraud and identity theft. Officials say it's important to get yours as soon as possible. Well, springtime brings out fun family activities and some familiar holiday faces. Now, there have been several Easter events happening, and there are more to come. You can scan this QR code to find some more egg hunts in the 4 states. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, again, a bit chilly for some of us. Eventually, south winds gusting to 30, partly cloudy, mid-70s, and maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. But again, not everybody will see rain today. That chance continues through the evening, and then overnight, between about midnight and 7 a.m., a few thunderstorms possible. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe, with small hail is the primary concern. Mild tonight, back into the low 60s, with south winds still gusting to 30. South winds tomorrow gusting upwards of 40. We'll have those morning thunderstorms, partly cloudy, very warm in the 80s, and we're keeping an eye on those severe chances late Friday evening into early Saturday. More rain into the holiday weekend.
Alrighty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making the ultimate coconut cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up next, Jolene Kent talked exclusively with a small business owner who is fighting back against the Trump administration over tariffs. She's suing them for what she says is an unlawful trade policy.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Delia Lister from the PSU Nature Reach joins us in the studio with a feathery friend.
And John Harrison from In the Garden, also in the studio, talk about how to keep your outside plants safe during severe weather season. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.